This is your WW3 news. Obviously, the sinking of an Iranian warship, the Iris Dana, hit the news in some newscasts, broadcasts on a second level. And what really happened, they do not explain. But there is a film going around on the web of this submarine torpedo in it. Now, the story of this ship is the Iris Dana. It's an Iranian warship, and it was in the Atlantic Ocean, no, Pacific Ocean to be precise. Long way away from the theatre of the Middle Eastern War. It took part with the Indian Navy in military exercises, and off the coast of Sri Lanka it sunk because it was torpedoed by an American submarine. Which, strangely enough, this submarine left this Garcia Island facility, which is British, and there's even a compass of the British in the middle. It's an act of war, it's an act of piracy on every level, and so far 87 dead, because the Indian authorities obviously recuperate the remains of these poor sailors. And there were 30 survivors, and they were left abandoned there. And by international law regarding the maritime governing the seas and these things, they have to be rescued. They were abandoned there. And how many of these act of piracies the Israelis are gonna and Americans commit? Regarding the RAF Al-Qatiyah, the news or rumours are coming out it was an Israeli drone which the Israelis launched to drag the British into the war. They certainly spoke storm, and he certainly soiled his knickers, didn't he? Now they're going to send a frigate, probably HMS Duncan, or some type of warship which has these type of facilities, type of armaments. And obviously, one of the naval theatres, war at sea, or probably in Hormuz Straits, because obviously they're going to probably try to force the Iranian blockade around the collective West to participate in this thing. It's an instigation to make other nations participate of the West in this war. And you got the head of the Pentagon, or War Department they call it now. It's Armageddon has instructed all these commanders to give out this memorandum to all the soldiers saying it's Armageddon, we are doing this in the name of Christ. What bullshit is that? Because if you go on the biblical references, it's all nations against nations which attack Israel. It's America and Israel attacking Iran from all fronts. And there are proper movements of troops or proxies of other countries, like in Azerbaijan, which is another proxy of the West. They're moving troops and other things in that direction. Regarding what happened yesterday in Turkey, a missile, which is an Iranian, ended up in NATO space. There's another false flag from the Americans and the Israelis to drag even Europe into this war. This could be the beginning of what we're going to call in the future World War III. It will pass from a conventional scenario to an atomic. Who knows if the Iranians, if they really have their back against the wall and they have some warhead ready on a missile ready to launch. And the fact is, sending boots on the ground is only one thing. Many body bags for these soldiers to come home, because it's a very, very big fucking place. And obviously it's not like a traditional military base where they launch these missiles from. They are hidden in mountains and no one knows where they are. This is the problem. And despite bombing the first time and bombing now Tehran, the civilian population's on the bombing of B-52s. I don't think at Tehran and a civilian population hides such enrichment of uranium and whatever it is. They want to destroy Iran, the West, at all costs. Doesn't matter the costs of how many Iranians are going to die, or you know how many Western soldiers are going to die. It's all a question of world domination. Because the Hamburger Empire of Sodom and Gomorrah or New Babylonia is on its last leg. Like all empires, they rise and fall. Could be this their fall? They do desperate things and silly things. And continue bombing vast areas of Iran. So far, what have they achieved? Only death tolls in civilians, that's all. And dragging in the rest of the world in this madness. Like it was like Iraq. Iran's next. Who's next then? Was it Russia? China? Let's see if Russia and China sit back and observe. They can't afford it. Because if Iran goes down, they're next on the list to be taken out.